Greetings. Beautiful day today, baby. I'm live before y'all, my viewers, my listeners and supporters, baby, with this additional light code transmission for us to connect. It's good to be building with my people for a minute, representing Nuwabu. You know what I'm saying? Our true spiritual science as a people. I'm about to go in on some things for purposes of us having an advantage versus being at a disadvantage of the societal forwardness of us being alright out here, you know, in the divine scheme of things, baby. So look, listen and learn, observe, and empty out and let in some high frequency information that's guaranteed to be structured around outside the box thinking. Much love to the master teacher, partner Bab Yanun. And I'm utilizing my time wisely, as you can see, representing the teachings in light of each one teach one. What are you doing with your time? I'm pretty sure, you know, you're doing something, you know, that you feel is worth your time in terms of whatever you're doing. But as far as us mentally giving our attention to certain terminologies like what must be done, you know what I'm saying, in terms of us graduating to higher levels of conducting ourselves beyond what certain social constructs left us to free indulging, which is a particular reality that is in a controlled environment where the perpetrators of this particular controlled environment seems to be laughing all the way to the bank all the time. You know, so how are we collectively as a black community and black collective can honestly say that we are laughing all the way to the bank based on what we have put together for us to thrive and survive and make it with assets and capital goods that produce certain consumption goods for people to be consumers of what we create. Now, man, our people, right, has a history of great inventions that the planet is benefiting from to make life more comfortable for us all. But we also have thieves who like to steal the glory of certain inventions and patented creations that we produce for themselves and then turn right around with that picture to make us look like the bad guy who is shiftless, lazy, dependent, but we lack certain knowledge that render us in a so-called state of mind to be someone who don't or haven't contributed anything to the world, which is a bold-faced lie. Now we want to go deeper into the psyche and the mind of our true spiritual science, Nuwapu, right? Of course, I'm here to make the master teacher's word be known, right? And in light of listening to his divine words of wisdom, we may develop divine acquisition of wisdom that we can utilize for our own selves, being products of a wise teacher who has come to set the captives free. The divine example of the master teacher is right and exact. So, without further ado, I want to get off into the supreme wisdom of the master teacher so we can just tap in and follow these particular lines of reasoning that is all about properly appealing to our intelligence to be just that intelligent Nubian starseeds of our true spiritual science that is constantly getting better with time. It never ceases to amaze me. The profoundness of our teachings by Dr. Malachi Z. Now it's this particular question where it was asked of the master teacher here. How do you know so much about extraterrestrials in different galaxies? Him regarding one of the spiritual personalities of him by the name of Yanun. Yanun, right, is a being from the 19th galaxy called Ilion. The elders have been coming to this planet before it had your life form on it, right? Now think about that. Before our life form on it, right? Before our life form on it, right? So, what was the life forms in existence before the life forms on our planet was on our planet? Interesting. Yanun manifested on planet Earth to speak through the body of Nectar Aferdi Atumari, who is an entity, an etheric being. They, Netaru, watched the two other cycles of 6,000 years, equaling 12,000 years. The 6,000 years being one a sun cycle and another two being a moon cycle. We are currently in a sun cycle with one more moon to follow, totaling 24,000 years, your equinox. The removal of the dust cloud mentioned in the Torah, Genesis 1:1, from light to darkness, then to light again, by the winds of the mother plane Nibiru, that which crosses the skies. Ponder on that. Listen to these words. Nefertiti Atum-Re incarnates into this realm from time to time. His incarnations as an Ilah Mutajasida or Avatar happened originally in the year 1945. In order to get here, the being of Nefertiti Atum-Re traveled by one small passenger craft called a sham that came from out of the mothership or Crystal City out of a mother plane. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke about the mother planes. Now, the master teacher is going more in depth regarding the mother planes. Nibiru, the mother plane Nibiru, called Merkaba, meaning a movable throne. Now, in addition to that particular name of that craft, also called Merkaba, right? We know that we have a certain capability of turning our bodies into a Merkaba as well, to where we marshal certain energy from the energy centers of our body and generate certain electromagnetic elements of our body. And through the process of generating this energy, we can turn our bodies into like a pure ball of light, to where we can actually levitate and travel in that state, where that's called the Merkaba as well. We have that capability, but we have to know how to tap into ourselves to know how to do that. Everything requires knowledge to know how to pretty much do certain things well. This goes on to read, right? In Ilium, the beings live to be trillions of years old. Knowledge of other galaxies is nothing new. They were here and there before their creation. However, having over 76 trillion years of knowledge, Nefertiti Atum-Re came from the 19th galaxy that has 3 suns. So that galaxy has what's called a tri-solar system, a tri-star solar system. Now, a tri-solar system. Last July, they discovered a galaxy that seems to be in the beginning stages. Now they have found a galaxy over 90 million light years away from Earth, the furthest galaxy detected to date. It is also a far distance from the one found last July. They also say that this galaxy formed 820 million years ago. This new discovery is labeled 0140 plus 326RD1 and formed when the universe was only 6% of its present age. Now, this movable throne. Nibiru was noted by scientists as a star seen behind the comet called Hale-Bopp. Beings from Aldebaran deliberately tried to stop Nibiru from reaching us, as Nubian people, black people, right? These beings from Aldebaran deliberately tried to stop Nibiru from reaching us in time. By that I mean, they made it halt in space, which sent shockwaves through the universe on December 12th, 1996. Right? No one knew what this bright, gleaming object was behind the comet. Know this. All they know is that it is alive. And whatever it was, it is not, and whatever it is not a comet, because it doesn't have various degrees of light as a comet, but looks like a solid sphere of light. A solid sphere of light. Right. Now scientists are discovering new stars. Right? Just listen, y'all. Scientists are discovering new stars and planets in certain areas of the universe. They have already discovered the two suns and will soon discover a third. On October 8, 1997, they discovered a more powerful star named the Pistol Star because of its shape. The star was discovered using the Hubble telescope, which is powerful enough to see eruptions. The magnitude of the star is estimated to be 10 million times brighter than the sun. They also have discovered 4 new solar systems from Mahaut, where a star is covered by matter. Beta Pictoris, which shows a star covered by dust, and then a blob below it covered by dust. HR 4796A, a cloud of dust surrounds what they feel is a infant solar system. And Vega, number 4, right? Where you see a star and a concentrated spot, then layers of clouds. Now, why is this saying all this in these particular perspectives, to where the master teacher knows so much about these terminologies dealing with these activities in the galaxies and in the universe, and how scientists is labeling things the way that they are labeling things, to where they have certain insight on the formulation of how certain activities of certain energies in the galaxies, and how certain lights is forming and working in dust clouds, and certain activities that is taking place in the galaxies in space, right? With these expensive telescopes and equipment and communication systems that they have developed with the technology that they are using, where they is deeply inquisitive to try to really get a understanding of how certain things is working out there to get rid of all of the mystery, right? But yet, outside of the scope of the master teacher's elaboration of how certain activities is going on in the galaxies and things of that particular nature, right? In this relation to us here on planet Earth, they are still in a state where they don't know certain things. So the master teacher be like, you know what, they think they know this, that, and the third about this, that, and the third, right? So where he say, well, we're gonna let them play around with what they talking about for a while. Then I give y'all the real meaning of what they talking about. That's the advantage that our true spiritual science has on the planet when it comes to certain higher learning and insight. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to follow this particular line of logic and sound right reasoning by the master teacher, right? Now, in the year 1970, right? Netta Aferdi Atum Reed, incarnated into flesh, took place, and it was time to start work at breaking the spell of sleep, called the spell of Leviathan, or Kingu, the moon spell, or lunatic state of mind that has trapped the minds of so many people. With this many people considered lunatics will begin to really go crazy as we get closer to the time of alignment and with the power of the Son of Righteousness, Malachi 4:2, from the Neteru. The spell will be lifted. Earth astronomers thought the appearance of their coming to be a comet, which was called Bennet, named after the person who spotted them first on March 16, 1970. This happened 4 months before Netta Aferdi Atum Reed's 25th birthday, June 26, 1970. Right? The opening of the seventh seal. This also marked the beginning of the Aquarian Age. This marked also the beginning, think now, of the Aquarian Age. Consider that, ponder on that. The opening of the seventh seal marked the beginning of the Aquarian Age. An astrophysicist named Ricardo Ciocani sent up a satellite called Uhuru, which is a Swahili word meaning freedom. Peace and love to the Uhuru organization that represents freedom and justice for the people. A satellite called Uhuru, which is a Swahili word meaning freedom, from Kenya, okay, Africa, in the year 1970, to study X-rays in the sky for 3 years, trying to map their coming and call us Bennett, right? Now, Yanun is a Neteru, or what you call, chants in this frequency here. Straight classy. Much love to my peoples. Yanun is a natural, or what you call an extraterrestrial, or what you call an angelic being. A netter from the 8th planet called Risk, which has a moon Sheski of its own. This galaxy, the 19th galaxy called Ilion, was originally referred to as heaven, known as Elysium in Greek. It has 3 suns named Shamash, Utu, and Apsu, which means this tri-system is actually a tri-solar system with 19 planets and 38 moons. Letter Aferdi Atum reads, sole purpose for incarnating on this planet is to save the descendants of the Neteru, meaning us, right, from being killed as the planet Earth nears total destruction. Now look around you. Look at the shape, the mental shape and spiritual shape that humanity and our people is in, that is outside the frequency of right knowledge. Now he say, I Netta Aferdi Atun read, sole purpose for incarnating on the planet Earth, right? The master teacher, Netta Aferdi Atun read, sole purpose for incarnating on this planet is to save the descendants of the Neteru from being killed as the planet Earth nears total destruction. They have to be aligned through the activation of certain DNA within each individual. Now, I remember hearing the master teacher, right, speak on terms like it's all in the DNA. What is DNA? It's a term or meaning for it that was speaking about saying that it's deoxyribonucleic acid with the universal polymeric constituents of all living cells. DNA. It's all in the DNA. What is it about our DNA that has certain intelligence capabilities like this? When we hear right knowledge, right? For us who actually resonate with it, to where we start to have something called genetic explosions of awareness within our DNA. Genetic explosions of awareness in our DNA that cause us to automatically tap into certain intelligences with divine insight to where we know what we're talking about. Right? Now, in particular, dealing with these historical events that is surrounding the master teacher, where he wrapped up in all of this light for his divine mission to reach us to where we save ourselves from these particular negative elements and destruction courses that a lot of our people is on, where they don't catch themselves, to where certain tragedies happen where they didn't heed certain warnings. It was too late. Destruction came. You know what I'm saying? So for him and her that have an ear, let y'all hear what the Spirit has to say to y'all temples. Let us reason together here. Let's continue to read, right? On Wednesday, June 30th, 1999, you will see the words of the Neteru. Some of the destruction on this planet caused by global warming, which is because of the excessive amounts of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is helping to melt the polar ice caps. Back in July of 1998, it was reported that a melting glacier could lead to the collapse of a West Antarctic ice sheet that could cause global sea levels to rise as much as 20 feet high, which would cause more flooding to areas close to the shore and faster erosions. This is called the entropy effect, which is raising the water levels all over the globe. Entropy is a property of matter used by scientists in connection with thermodynamics, right? Which is the study of heat and work. The entropy of a substance increases whenever the energy it possesses to do work decreases. For example, steam entering into a turbine shift, right? After moving for example, steam entering into a turbine shaft. After moving the shaft, the energy of the steam has decreased, and thus entropy has increased, right? The total energy. Look, the total energy, right, of the universe is increasing because it's time. Time for what? The total energy of the universe is increasing, right? Because in time, all matter tends to lose, all matter tends to lose available energy. It is also used as a measure of internal disorder in a substance of law of thermodynamics regarding the entropy effect, right? That is the reason there are so many floods in the United States. For example, many floods on the East Coast and fires burning on the West Coast, which has become very dry for lack of water. Not to mention other natural disasters, such as the tornadoes that hit Florida called El Nino, the little boy that has a death toll of 38, and people were still missing in March of 1998. By May, the tornado had made its rounds to Alaska, to Tierra del Fuego. Close to 900 people died, or 900 dead people. More than 3 million hurt, and over 20 billion lives were lost. Like certain media outlets, you know what I'm saying, they don't even be disclosing these particular kind of death tolls and numbers like that. To that degree, that many. In Canada, it killed close to 25 people, and it left entire cities without electricity in the middle of winter. Okay, now in this country, there were some 100 deaths in strange cyclones in California. Now, think about these things that's in depth and think about these particular things that's being observed, remembered, logged, and documented by these wise watchers, right? Who keep certain things in remembrance for the purpose, as terms of being like caretakers of the universe and planet. They seeing what's really going on the planet to salvage what can be salvaged before we all get caught up in a situation that can be real detrimental for us all. So the master teacher encourages us to think deep, pay attention to the wordings of how he puts certain things in a certain perspective to where it get in our DNA. And like him, we will develop a certain wits about ourselves, where we can develop a certain foresight with right knowledge, terminologies that have inculcated through our DNA genetic explosions of awareness. Now this goes on to read, my brothers and sisters and my viewers, listeners, and supporters, and people in all walks of life. He's the right knowledge. Right? Now, there was other damage attributed to El Nino, such as the fires, right? Where hundreds of acres of forest went up in a blaze, added by the drought and high temperatures. In other zones, lagoons were created in the middle of a desert in north of Peru. It provoked a series of flood tides and overflowing of rivers like the Panama, while others were reduced to small brooks. Right. In the Southwest, as of April 1998, there were 104 deaths from an antivirus that is spread from rodents. It flows around in the air and people inhale it and are infected. That right there sounds similar to the particular pandemic that a lot of us just lived through. May the Most High, Bless the people that transition, who was ill affected during that particular time. But these things are happening right now. You know what I'm saying? That we are living through right now. So that's why it's important for us to be aware of certain things, raising our vibrations, and have the psychic self-defenses, right? Through knowing what we supposed to know, when we ward those unclean forces away from our being, and protect ourselves also from extraterrestrial telepathic influences as well that may try to affect our minds, creating thoughts that's not our thoughts. And for us who spiritually mature with that psychic self-defense, we will know how to have that ability to ward off telepathic influences that won't have an effect on us. This is real. So may we continue to be enriched and empowered from the food of thought of Netta Aferdi Atumri. You know what I'm saying? So every day, y'all, it's worth our while to do the knowledge. Okay, now this goes on to read, right? The number of bugs have increased like the plague of grasshoppers and the infestation of fleas, all from the increased moisture and heat in the air. Now, this particular El Nino, right, in its 1997-98 AD version was the worst. The continent has ever suffered since they've been aware of its presence, right? Which ties into the coming or returning of Nibiru, the planet which crosses the skies, right? There will be many epidemics contracted from drinking contaminated water. Wow. The book of Revelations. The 3 million people piled up in shelters in different countries are rather a time bomb for the spreading of all kinds of sicknesses. So now look, people out here homeless, or people in poverty who have poor health care access, or people who out here starving, struggling and striving, don't have nothing out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Can be possible carriers of all kind of sicknesses and diseases, to the point where they can be targets of experiments, to the point where, like you say, they ticking time bombs out here who can go off at any time as a result from certain infestations within they being, where they minds ain't right out here. They the relics, like they, you know what I'm saying? They out here. This is certain people, like this. The description of what this is saying. You know, it's out here carrying all kind of viruses and diseases. We gotta be careful out here. Scientists are saying, right, there is a strong possibility of a meaty meteoric shower impact with the earth any day now. Now wait a minute. Do we realize how much on the hush these particular kind of topics have been? A lid they have kept a lid on. But when we tune into the good news bearer of the master teacher by talking about certain things that may not sound like good news, you know what I'm saying? Is to cause us to be on guard about possible realities with our minds open, you know what I'm saying, to the reality of these other perspectives of life. Because, for instance, scientists are saying there is a strong possibility of a meteoric shower impact with the earth any day now, because it has occurred in the past. Meteorites were expected to possibly hit the planet Earth during the Leonid meteoric shower back in November of 1998. Now, notice a lot of this stuff during the 80s and 90s up to the year 2000 was taking place, right? That people have forgotten about. See how easy people forget things? But the master teacher remember everything. The master teacher, baby, remember everything. For instance, in May of 1999, another shower will occur. Then in June 1999, and on a Wednesday, you will see bolted or meteoric fireball, just like the other day. Now, I'm keeping it real. I'm telling y'all, the other day I was on my way to my place, and right over like my car, it was like this green meteorite looking object had went a certain direction. I'm looking at it and it lit the sky up, but it had like dissipated into the air though, like into small green particles. And it was like a humongous light for real though, but that's how it behaved in the end. So I'm like, what was that? You know what I'm saying? And it had to come from out there in here in the Earth's atmosphere. There's, you know, phenomena that you know, some of us see. Just like day before yesterday, the UFO sighting I recorded. It's a lot of full disclosures that's happening as well with these different beings and stuff and military operations that's going on. So just continue to read on. All these misfortunes are occurring because of the days and times we are living in. According to your Bible, Revelations 8:11, it mentions a certain star turning all the waters bitter. Wormwood is the movable throne called Merkabah. They will say wormwood is the common hell bot. Wormwood is actually Nibiru. For them to admit the presence of Nibiru would be an open confession of what Netta Aferdi Atumri Palabab Yanun has been teaching is without doubt true. Right? When Nibiru comes, There will be an increase in diseases, natural disasters, and plagues. Right? Now we have seen and lived through certain plagues that done hit the planet. You know what I'm saying? In this era of time that we living in, baby. This is true. Right? Now, as far as plagues of certain insects and bugs, for instance, this year was the year of the locust properly known as cicada came to the surface of the earth after another 17 years has passed. They came to the surface every 17 years feeding on vegetation and other bugs. They make a high-pitched sound heard during the day, but not at night. They look like giant flies with big, bright red eyes. They are said to be harmless, but are a nuisance because they land on just anything, including you. After 2 weeks, they are said to disappear and die, leaving dead bodies and empty shells of themselves all over the ground. If you've noticed, every year it is a new bug: Japanese beetles, wheel bugs, ladybugs, stick bugs, praying mantis, scarab beetles, and giant roaches. While in other places, animals that usually follow the same course of migration or course, such as returning to certain places, certain beach, that whales allow themselves to be washed up onto shore. It didn't happen this year. There is a certain cave that bats fly from every year and make a migration flight. But it didn't happen this year. The animals are reacting differently. These incidents are proof of the days and times we are living in. Like the reports, right, of those sheep and some ants and some goats. I think they were showing footage of these particular animals and insects acting strange, where they was circumambulating, or they was going into a circle like counterclockwise, right, for days, to signify what? They got people, mystified, like, like what is that about? You know what I'm saying? What is these things about? What is the relevance regarding the things that the book of Revelations was pinpointing out? You know what I'm saying? These days and times that we are living in is indeed it's like in sync also with this age of Aquarius, the outpouring of knowledge, where our cups is just going to be running over with information connected with the outformation that the master teacher has brought to us. Okay, this resumes, right? Let's see. Now, such as returning to certain places year after year, like the whales, right? Bats and butterflies did not show. For instance, there is a certain beach that whales allow themselves to be washed up onto shore, right? It didn't happen this year. Now, why haven't these certain usual things be happening with the behavior of these particular insects and animals and sea creatures? You know what I'm saying? The animals are reacting differently. These incidents are proof of the days and times we are living in. All of these mutations and changes on the planet are from the return of Nibiru. There go Nibiru again. This particular planet that crosses the skies. What's going on? Why? Since by Nibiru being in the picture, right? Why is these reactions taking place like that? And these days and times that the book of Revelations was speaking about as well, right? According to the Bible, right? An extraterrestrial transmission, Planet X, Planet Heaven, by C.L. Turner speaks about the different times Nibiru has come through, and the result, comets are disturbed and meteorites are predicted to hit this planet because of the strong gravitational pull from Nibiru. Something going on with Nibiru. Nibiru is very powerful in its way where it affects things and causes things to react certain ways. So what about its effect on us, the people, the Nubians, or any other race of beings on the planet? Right? According to C.L. Turner, many cities were destroyed, such as Pompeii, an ancient Italian city. During Nibiru's third passage, polar shifts occur, which will cause a massive flood this year alone, and water levels rose 6 inches. This is something that occurs gradually over a period of 20 years. Period happened in one. This is the third time Nibiru is coming from this equinox period of 24,000 years, and this time is the most disastrous. Now, during this particular era of time, why is it more disastrous in that particular era of time? You know what I'm saying? Many of the ancient civilizations that have disappeared before have done so during this third part of the equinox. I'm gonna read that again. Right? Okay. Many of the ancient civilizations that have disappeared there have done so during this third part of the equinox. Presently, we are in the third part of this equinox and in the second sun cycle. We are in the second sun cycle now. What that means, it's time for us to rise. It's time for us to rise and be free from all of these spells of sleep and ignorance as far as correcting the error of our ways through Nuwapo, Wu Sabat, Nuwabu, our true spiritual science. Now, the ice caps, right, are melting and are causing the waters to shift more to one side of the planet. Are we paying attention to these things? Are we considering these things? Are we giving these particular type of things thoughts? And how it can affect us in a way where life as we know it will surely change. But on the agreeable level, life as we know it, by embracing our true spiritual science, will change as well, to where all we can do is prepare and be in our right mind to know how to strategically operate out here, being conscious of a lot of these particular nomenclatures that the master teacher is enunciating about as a warner to his people, meaning us, in this era of time, in addition to the rest of the human family who is interested in truth. The proof is in the truth, and the truth is in the proof. Let us reason together. Aren't we making sense here? This isn't the mentality of a madman. This is a mentality of a sane voice amongst darkness, as a light amongst darkness, a same voice amongst darkness. For the darkness to comprehend and become enlightened, but the darkness comprehended it not. People out here still ain't getting it. Wake up. Wake up to these teachings. Wake up and carry them into practice. Open your mind. Let's continue to read, right? I'm going to start with this area again. The ice caps are melting and are causing the waters to shift more to one side of the planet than the other. The axis of the planet is already shifted on the 23-degree axis and will cause the waters to reach toward one side of the planet, which is already wobbling. This sudden rush of water will throw off the fragile equilibrium of the planet. So by the planet spinning on this particular 23-degree axis with its fragile balance that can possibly get thrown off due to the melting ice caps that's causing the water to rush to one side more than the other, where the planet on its 23-degree axis is kind of already wobbling. So for that to possibly take place can be disastrous. So how can we reverse the ice caps from melting? Is that one of the reasons why the chemtrails is releasing these particular chemicals in the air to keep the planet cool as much as possible? Or these what's considered man-made weather patterns to keep it cool in the Earth's atmosphere to prevent the ice caps from melting at a rapid pace due to this being the sun cycle, where the sun is closer to the Earth, which is a part of causing the earth to heat up more, which due to that logical scientific reason, where we can see that that heat is also an angle that also caused the polar ice caps to melt, in addition to the carbon dioxide, where certain forces is trying to get us to go green, and with electric cars to minimizing the carbon emissions from automobiles, what aerosol spray cans and these particular kind of things, to the point where certain, I think, scientists was like talking about these particular greenhouse effects is what they call it, to where like due to a lot of, I think they were saying like due to the degree of commercial interest, to where they realized that they went kind of too far with that, to where now they coming up with ideas and solutions to reverse, you know what I'm saying, what they have created, you know what I'm saying, from the carbon emissions, you know what I'm saying. So dealing with the bigger picture, right? The master teacher was elaborating on it from his perspective and insight about these realities. This would cause global hurricanes, in addition to the polar ice cap melting situation. This would cause global hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, avalanches, and volcanic eruptions. Now, mind you, remember the last transmission when I had mentioned this about the hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, avalanches, and volcanic eruptions, typhoons, cyclones, you know, these crazy weather patterns, is also a product of Star Wars. They ain't telling us about the Star Wars, but the master teacher informing us about who is our friend. God's people, period. God is the truth and the devil is a lie. All praise due to the Most High. Now, the volcanic eruptions alone already cause sinkholes, right? Which is where the concrete turns into quicksand, and whatever is standing on that spot gets sucked down. Hell no. Heck no. Freedom. There will only be a small amount of survivors, right? There will only be a small amount of survivors, right? When this takes place at specific pivot points, because the remaining parts of the globe will be devastated, and the inhabitants on the surface would be eliminated. Refer to the book or scroll, Mission Earth and the Extraterrestrial Involvement. We're going to go into that scroll. We're going to get into all the scrolls. Anyway, right now, they are trying all kinds of things to balance the planet. Now, think about this. We want to live, right? We don't want to die. We here to tap into our potential and live a long duration of life, right? Now, on my terms, I'm striving for perfection through studying my lessons and being about my business to correct the error of my ways in terms of caring about how the Most High want me to remember the purity in which I'm created in, right? I pay attention to that. So, in light of having integrity and self-love for myself, my family, my people, and loving those that love me, right? In terms of the rest of the human family, right? I'm in my right mind, right? I just want y'all to know that. Now, this goes on to illustrate and shed light on, you know what I'm saying, that right now they are trying all kinds of things to balance the planet. He is making all the multi-millionaires, for instance, in California, tearing down the old brick mansions and putting up new synthetic ones. And in New York, they are putting up old brick buildings to balance the weight. It is the levity or changeableness and the gravity that balance the planet, right? Now, what do we know about these works that's being done to balance our planet right now? Is the planet balanced? Okay, what's really going on geographically on the planet? Right? This goes on to read. Oh man. Okay, on July 23rd, 1998, there was a flood in China due to the excessive rainfall, which killed 1,268 people. There are natural disasters all over the planet now. In South Korea, there were floods and landslides, killing 59 people, while 60 are still missing. And that particular, and dealing with that incident. Right now, these natural disasters are taking place all over the planet. As it shifts, the water tends to shift, especially as the planet gets closer to the sun. Alaska will be fertile again. What's that? Anyway, they are finding great bisons and trees under ice because the shift happened immediately. So they have to alter the weight of the planet Earth to try to prevent the shift. Because when things shift, everything he builds or everything he built goes underwater. Central America and Africa which is along a certain line of latitude that Tamarayans inhabit, right? See, now see the master teacher be going in, straight expert in reality, right? Where we are being experts on how to see things properly. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. We're gonna get this right here, baby. For real. Back to that. Now check it out, right? We are to see things properly, baby. Being right and exact with this supreme wisdom. You know what I mean? Central America, right? And Africa, which is along a certain line of latitude that Tamarans inhabit now, right? Are not as of yet. These places have been getting the winds. Listen to this. Okay. He has to burn trees to try to prevent something that he can't prevent. That's why many of the trees are being burned in the Amazon jungle. Now, remember, what was it, a few years ago when it was a big talk about how they was burning these fires in the Amazon, y'all? And that's the lungs, that's what? The lungs of the planet? Remember that? The lungs of the planet, where a majority of the oxygen of the planet come from. So we affect that interfere with the oxygen levels. And we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? We want our oxygen levels to be all the way intact. Now, for instance, but he is messing with the ecology. Also, he knows the planet is dying. He is trying to reverse what is happening to Mother Earth. I compliment them for that. We all in our right mind compliment them for that. So, what can we do to help? What can we all do to help in these efforts to save a dying earth that we all live on? We have to get our minds right, first of all. Take into consideration right knowledge, which is correct information, by these extraterrestrial beings who have good input and insight on where to go, on what to do, and how to approach these things from a workable, agreeable, technological level, scientific level, ecological level, biological level, all of the above, all of the above levels. What can we do to help? So instead of, brothers and sisters out here in these streets, right, being distracted from all of the lust, the alcoholism, the negative, volatile, unnecessary aggressiveness toward one another with the bad, I think I'm bad attitude. All that has to be eradicated, eliminated, and terminated, and replace that interest with the interest of higher learning. You know what I'm saying? Before warning come before destruction. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people out here, warning come before destruction. So for him and her and the children that have an ear, let them hear what the Spirit has to say to the temples. Embrace this sound right reasoning. Now, once El Nino passed, right, La Nina, the little girl, begins one situation after another, one event after another, just keep popping up, right? She brings with her erratic weather conditions. She is worse than the boy because she is unpredictable. It could be raining one minute and sunny the next. Wait a minute. Now, here in Detroit, we see that on a regular basis. So what does that just say about the weather patterns we see here in Detroit? Right? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? See, by us being Detroiters, you know what I'm saying, we tough people. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of characteristics, traits, and gifts and values and mentality, and with a certain mentality to go with it, to where we tough people who was conditioned a certain way, because it seems like the stuff we be exposed to that cause us to rise to the occasion, to be a survivor, a winner, and a person with tough skin and a strong mind with strong spiritual values. At the same time, you have people who have given in to certain weaknesses, to where it's like they got battle fatigue, because we fighters here. We fighters, you know what I'm saying? We fighters, straight up fighters here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? With an unbeatable spirit, invincible spirit, a dominating spirit, being in tune with life on many kind of different levels. You know, much respect to us all, but when it comes to this right knowledge on this level, compound with our natural toughness, being a people of the Most High through our sound right reasoning of Nuwapo, Nuwabu, Nuwapuyi, Wu Sabat. You know what I'm saying? This breeds even stronger character for us to be knowledgeable and in tune with the comprehension level of the master teacher through our genetic explosions of awareness with this doctrine that's here to help save our lives, but we save ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Positive energy activate constant elevation, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We embrace this. And that we know better, we doing better, but still we heeding the warnings that the master teacher is telling us about these conditions on the planet. In some regards, they ain't telling us about. Why aren't they making public announcements about these things? Let put everybody in on what's going on, so we all can benefit in equality of our planet. Okay, for instance, right? Like I was saying, it could be raining one minute and sunny the next, and then raining again. this has come to pass. A hurricane could happen out of nowhere at any time with no warning. So imagine the weather patterns, like in particular we see here on the East Coast, or here in Detroit, Chicago area, or I'm just saying in particular over here, right? Another thing, I don't know why they call this Midwest, Chicago, and Detroit. We East Coast. We on the east side of the map. That's a word game. Like New York, all of us, we East Coast, Eastern time. But anyway, right? This has also come to pass, right? A hurricane can happen out of nowhere and at any time without warning, and the weather conditions will get worse progressively, and will go through 2 more stages before it is all over. Al Abulo and La Abula. Other names of these particular hurricanes or what have you, right? Now, the master teacher saying this, right? The master teacher say, okay, Netta Aferdi Atumri is not the only one saying this. There is a Native American prophecy displayed on a map showing the safe places. Right now, various places on the planet are even begun to go underwater. Such as the surrounding islands around Jamaica and the lower part of California. This doesn't just go for the United States or even this side of the Western Hemisphere, but also the entire planet will be affected. Yo, the whole planet. Take heed, my people. Time is running out. A bend or change in space occurs. A bend or change in space occurred. There was a glorious cloud of light. This caused a dimensional shift in time and space. Emotions were put into action. This anomaly or emotions were put into motion. This anomaly, something that is abnormal or different from the normal, was being experienced on your planet at that very moment. Right? Most people had a feeling, right? A nagging sense that there wasn't as much time as there used to be. There was something usually expressed as mine. Isn't time flying? The reason for this feeling of less time is because there is less time. Refer to Man from Planet Riscroll. There is less time. Now, what is the difference between God's or the Most High's timing and the evil one's timing? We are not on the evil one's time. The evil ones see he has little time to do what he was supposed to do, right? So the Most High order of time, being the original order of time, is the moment of divine timing that we are on. Like, I remember hearing the master teacher say something about if you operating outside of the will of the Most High, it automatically puts you in the will of the devil. And for those who are in the will of the devil, is not in the will of the Most High. So if we is in the will of the Most High, then we are on God's time, which is the natural order of things, right? When we are of the first order of the universe, where we not dealing with seconds, tick, tock, the tick and the tock, where the master teacher was like, there was a tick and a tock, but now there's only a tock or a tick. One of them is not there because of time running out, of some kind of time done sped up, dealing with time. Why does it seem like time is flying by? Like there's not much time like it used to be or something, like he said, because there is no more time as we know it. Now wait a minute. Let me go back to that. Right? Let me go back to that. Time is running out. A bend or change in space occurred. There was a glorious cloud of light. This caused a dimensional shift in time and space. Emotions were put into motion. This anomaly, something that is abnormal or different from the normal, was being experienced on your planet at that very moment, with that particular being in space or change in space. Most people have had a feeling, a nagging sense that there wasn't as much time as there used to be. This was usually expressed as, Mike, isn't time flying? The reason for this feeling of less time is because there is less time. Referred to man from planet Risk Scroll. Right? Right now, we're talking about right now, this present moment now, right? Now is an actual event of removing the spell of sleep. And from that point in time on, became now. Does not refer simply to living in the present days and time, although that is strongly recommended when the dimensional shift occurred, right? Time began collapsing to create a new dimensional shift. Space is collapsing to create a new dimensional time. So beings, here we go, about to get deep here. Look, so beings, right? Hold on. So beings, right, from other dimensions can come through clouds. Now, this how these beings operate. This how they do things. They can maneuver and do certain things that they do. Where this is just giving us some awareness on how they can move, how they do things, right? Okay. So beings from other dimensions can come through clouds to this third dimensional world. Yanun incarnated into Leta Aferdi Atumri from a nine-dimensional world. In other words, the time and space relationship is linked to the human and Earth's biorhythm. And that determines how many dimensions for a world, which in your case is a three-dimensional reality, which is up for grabs. Now what they mean, up for grabs, right? This is dealing with the extra space we have in our time. Let me explain. Right? The clock on Earth used to have a tick and a tock. I was just elaborating on that because I know I read that somewhere before in the doctrine, right? And it's talking about it. Now there is only the tick. So time has been changed, and that missing top is time up for grabs that can be utilized by extraterrestrials, that can be utilized by extraterrestrial beings who overstand this altered time, and they can come in and out of this dimension at will. Yo, Razor Sharp Master Teacher, giving us the insight on these higher realities, how time works, certain realities of space and time, and how other entities know about these realities of space and time and using it to their advantage to do certain things, to where, due to us being aware of these particular elements about space and time realities, how to protect ourselves against these beings that just might be disagreeable toward us for whatever kind of purposes they trying to accomplish what they trying to accomplish. Doesn't mean that it's good by them knowing how to take advantage, you know what I'm saying, of that particular alteration in time. Now, the genetic shift is taking place. Okay, look. I'm finna get ready to chill with this for a minute, right? For the sake of time on here. But I'm gonna resume with this, with the rest of this particular right knowledge for us to ponder on, right? About what time it is that the master teacher wants us to know about. The genetic shift is taking place. As Leta Aferdi Atumri has said, children are being born with the barethary gland, and even some adults are waking up with it reimplanted. The time is truly now. Another interesting aspect of this anomaly is that your DNA codes are set to go off now. As you may have noticed, that did not occur at your birth or at any other time until now. what you read and what Netta Aferdi Atun Reed teaches of the awakening that's now. Even though you have lived through many nows, and the degrees of your awakenings is a direct relation to the degrees of now that you are experiencing, because hold on y'all, that you are experiencing, that we are experiencing. Right? Okay, now these particular degrees of now that you are experiencing, because Netta Aferdi Atun Reed is here. The master teacher is here, baby. He is with us. We is with him. Yo, this is great, right knowledge for us to be winners through, baby. Right? Now, Netta Aferdi Atun Reed is here with us. Right? With you now. And that determines the awakening. Before Netta Aferdi Atun Reed became aware of this mission, before his DNA opened up, Netta Aferdi Atun Reed was unaware of how he was to go about fulfilling his mission. Netta Aferdi Atun Reed was in a state of unconsciousness. His chest has been expanded so that he could take on the burdens of the world. Right? Netta Aferdi Atun Reed will feel the spirit of Murdoch Amunubi Rakpata Atun Reed, called the Angel Michael, a warrior angel. Right? In Christianity. Right? You see, the Christian world, they have to come up to speed and recognize who Melchizedek of the Bible is. The master teacher here, right? Who speaks through the physical person regarding Melchizedek, who speak through the physical person of Dr. Malachi Zior, Panabab Yanun, Netta Aferdi Atun Reed, right? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. So with that said, right? Oh, one more thing. These truths, plural, these multiple truths, right, have and will release you from your fears of the malevolent beings. Renew your faith and knowledge of the Neteru, right, and erase the lies and release the oppression that has enslaved your once highly intellectual mind. Netta Aferdi Atun Reed's character has been molded to perfection, and he possesses the knowledge, wisdom, and overstanding needed to raise the chosen 144,000 children of the Neteru. We are chosen ones today. We are starseeds today. With activated third eyes, where we in tune with our true spiritual science of right knowledge. Nuwabu, Nuwapo, Wunuwap, Wusabat. Much love to my people. Positive energy activate constant elevation. Much Ashu to us all. United we stand. You know what I'm saying? And we all in our right mind,